How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I wanted to do a video talking about some of the big potential winners in the market right now, like some of the really high potential cryptos. Now, this is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be, I think, a little bit more laid back. We're just going to go through it like it's a live stream, right? I'm not going to edit anything unless I have a coughing bit. Recently, when I've been talking, if I talk too long, I do start coughing just because I still am getting over that cough from last week. But I want to go over some of the top cryptos here today and talk about what I see in the market and what we have, what has a lot of potential here still. I have some charts here for you. I have some other interesting things, but we're going to mostly be talking through it. Now, with that being said, the market is looking pretty solid. I mean, we've been staying in this $60,000 range, $63,000 range for the last couple days. Before that, we did see that dip, but we're looking pretty strong here. So let's go through it. I'll kind of work down the line from Bitcoin on down to some really small caps that I own, some that I haven't even talked about on the channel. I'll mention towards the end of the video, but I would suggest staying through because again, it's just gonna be relaxing. Grab a coffee. I have my world's best boss coffee here. So we're just gonna talk through it. Now, with that being said, if you guys want to know what I'm thinking more often and see like what I'm doing every day, I give multiple messages just about the market in the Patreon group, and we're not always right. But a couple days ago, we did say that there might be a dip in Bitcoin. There's one specific reason I gave that, and honestly, it fell. So right after I said that, within hours, it fell from 62,500 to down to 58,000. So I said whales might dump this soon. Fell right away. And then also, like yesterday, I said that you need to buy this crypto before December 1 if you wanted good gains in it. I said that it could 50x by the end of like probably in a couple of years, but it went insane. It's up 140% in the last day since I bought it. So I have been dollar cost averaging into it. You have heard that earlier if you were in the Patreon. If you put in like $100, you would have made over a year's worth of Patreon money just to be in the Patreon. So definitely check that out underneath the video if you guys are interested. Now, I will say too, if you guys want an interest rate on your cryptos, you can check out the link down below to BlockFi. That's a great place to put it, and they just increased the rates that they're paying on some of their stable coins, so definitely check that out. Now, I've talked enough here. So I have my phone pulled out here, so I'm not obviously ignoring you if I am starting to look at it, but let's take a look at the market. So obviously, we're doing pretty well. The total market cap is near the highest that's ever been. Now, Bitcoin itself has kind of come down from the 66 level, but I am still extremely bullish on it. Plan B said by the end of the month, which is tomorrow, we would see a $63,000 Bitcoin. He was right exactly, like within $1,000 the last 2 months, and it looks like he might be exactly right for this month too. What's interesting about that is he says $98,000 the next month and $135,000 the month after that. So a lot of people didn't think we would go from 43 to 61 or 43 to 63. A lot of people don't think we'll go 63 to 98, but we do have the Taproot upgrade here soon. So there's an upgrade to the Bitcoin network. And I think there was a little bit of a drop after the spot ETF or after the futures ETFs, just because there was a lot of excitement leading up to that point, and people start to go on leverage here recently. So a lot of people went on leverage the last couple days, and then that caused that kind of flash crash or the small dip that we saw, $5,000 per Bitcoin. Really quickly, it dropped because there was just deleveraging in the market. There are whales that were trying to drop the price. That way people got liquidated, and it happened, right? We saw like $500 million get liquidated in an hour, I think it was. So that's bound to happen. Right now, there's still a decent amount of leverage. I don't think a lot of it has gotten shaken out, but I wouldn't be surprised if we continue to move up from here. So I think of Bitcoin as the least risky with a great amount of return still. Now, this is not going to 10x in the next year or two. So if you're looking for that, Bitcoin's not the way to go. But I think we could still see well over $100,000. And if we do get that lengthened cycle where we do have people, institutions buying Bitcoin and wanting to get in, and we have all these other banks that are offering it to their wealthy clients, and we have other countries that are adopting it as it goes up in price. Probably more countries will look at it towards adopting it because they don't want to be too late. As that happens, I think the price will continue to go up, and I could definitely see, like I said, that lengthened cycle. Maybe we just see a 50% pullback, and especially if it's 6 months or something like that, where we continue to see the price go up for 6 months, I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have that much of a drop, like maybe 40, 50%, kind of like we saw a couple months ago, and then we just continued to move up after 4 or 5 months. So maybe 2023 we start moving up again if we see it start dipping from like June through December or something of 2022. Now, with that being said, we still have a long way to go. We could still see great returns, like 2, 3, 4x possibly. I also wanted to show this. So the 2020 miners have been hodlers of Bitcoin. This is the first time that they've done this sustainably, or sustained this accumulation, since 2009 to 2014. So Willy Woo posted this, and you can see there's a lot of accumulation here. This is the flows, so Bitcoin per day. You can see obviously it's lower because there's a lot less Bitcoin being mined, but it's still significant. I mean, you can see we've only seen this, and sorry for the dogs barking, but 2010, 2011, then 2013, 2015, 2014, and then 2020 through 2021, and then again now. So we saw them stop holding back when the price was really going up exponentially, and then they're holding again now. This is interesting too, because it's really significant when we see this. Jeez, the dogs are crazy. It's really significant when we see this because of the fact that this is how they make their money. I mean, one way to kind of think about it would be if you own some kind of shop, right? Let's say it's a wood shop, and you were making dressers or furniture, and all of a sudden you see the value of the furniture and you think, okay, I think it's going to go up more in the future, and you start holding it. You actually start taking loans against your furniture that you've made but are not selling, and you take loans against it to build more furniture, to buy more parts, and to hire more people, and to buy more machines, and then you just hold it. Like, you have to have a huge conviction that that furniture price is going to go up, because that's how you make your money, right? You're taking loans against it. So of course it's a little bit different because this is an asset that's appreciating, and you don't typically think of furniture as appreciating assets, but still, you get what I'm saying, that this is how they make money, this is how they get cash flow. And instead of taking the cash flow and saying, hey, the price is going up, we're making 6 times more than we were a year ago, or 10 times more, they're actually holding onto it because they think that it has a lot of potential. So that is something to consider with Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum. I think Ethereum is a great crypto to hold, and I did a full video on it yesterday. I did a full video on why, Raul Paul thinks it's going to pump 900%, why you should buy before it's too late, because pretty much everyone that I talk to considers it to be going up to $10,000, probably more by the end of the cycle. Now, let me show you what Raul Paul just said about Ethereum and how deep he is into it.
At an earlier stage, so they're smaller networks and they're starting to get exponential growth, so they do well too. But yes, I'm probably now, I don't even know anymore because I bought some options as well, as I said in my tweet last night. I'm probably 85% Ethereum.
85% Ethereum. Now, this is because of some of the options that he has on Ethereum. He said if you take just spot, he's more like 75%, but still 75% Ethereum, 85% Ethereum if you take into account the options. I feel like Ethereum is a little bit higher risk than Bitcoin. There's no guarantee that it's going to be around in 10 years and it's going to be the leader, right? Something else could beat it out, like Solana, Cardano, something like that. But right now, this is probably one of the, I think, again, one of the best risk to reward ratios in Ethereum. Now, of course, it might not move as much as something like Solana or Cardano or some of the lower caps, but it's such a good risk reward, especially when you compare it to anything outside of the crypto space. It's just insane. With Ethereum 2.0 coming, again, another catalyst for it coming next year, which will be important. Now, it did break all-time highs, kind of fell down. It didn't really break through them very, very fast and very hard and continue going up, but still broke through them. Now, BNB, again, this is a more centralized crypto than a lot of the ones that we're looking at, but I still like it. I still hold it. It's, I think, my 3rd largest position, but I haven't added to it in months. I just stake it. It's not very risky in my opinion, but I don't think it's going to be a high mover. I wouldn't mind actually cutting down a little bit because I think there are going to be some faster movers, but still, they make a ton of money. It's like the leader in the space, like the leading crypto in the space. Cardano, very weak recently. I think they need a DEX and they need it bad. I think they need to grow their ecosystem pretty quickly. And honestly, I think when Charles comes back, more people will look at Cardano again. They'll be hearing what Charles is saying, getting excited, and they will do well. It's pretty much like they probably have some of the most marketing of any of the big cap cryptos because so many people watch Charles and so many people that hold Cardano watch Charles. And it's like they took away all their marketing. I mean, of course they have like the town hall meetings and stuff like that, but everyone pretty much just watches Charles. From there, Solana. Solana is one of the best products in the top 10. Like it's done. It's completed. It's one of the cheapest ways to transact, and it's getting a lot of adoption. So Solana, I think, will probably run more than these up here, and it's just a really good bet. I've been adding to Solana over the last couple months, and I feel very strongly about everyone that I know that knows a lot about crypto loves Solana. Like they're adding to it, or they bought it a long time ago and they love it. XRP, I don't really pay attention to. It's really going to be dependent on their lawsuit. And if the lawsuit gets pushed back, that's not going to be great. I think once they win in the lawsuit, if they win, of course, it will go up. But I'm not trying to bet on the fact that that happens in the next couple months when we have this bull run. So I'm not super interested in XRP just because I see so much potential in these other cryptos. Now, Polkadot, I think, will do really well with the parachain auctions. And we won't go through every single crypto out the top 100, but I wanted to hit on these. Polkadot, I think, will do very well with the auctions coming here soon. I would not be surprised if we saw 20% moves, 30, 40% moves in a day here coming up soon. I actually added to Polkadot over the last couple of weeks. Actually, this week when we saw some dips in it, when it fell down to like $40, I bought some. It also pays a nice interest rate, so I'm excited about this. It's another great ecosystem that I think will continue to grow. Shiba Inu, I don't like to buy cryptos that are up 10x in a month, but who knows? This could continue moving up. It could also fall down 50%, 60, 70%. So I'm not betting on this one. Again, you only have so much money, so I'm only going to allocate it towards certain cryptos. Of course, if you had bought in, you made a lot of money, and I think that's great. I think it's going to benefit the whole ecosystem when people buy Shiba Inu and it does well, because eventually the funds will flow out to other cryptos. Then Dogecoin, kind of the same thing. It hasn't been moving as much. Of course, they had like that 20% move where people, I think, took profits from Shiba Inu and put it into Dogecoin, but I'm not betting on Doge either. Now USDC, I just really like USDC. In terms of stablecoin, it's my favorite one, and it does pay you a nice interest rate, like I said, on some of these different crypto apps. I am very interested in Terra Luna, but I have not gotten a position in it yet. So let's go further down the line to some other ones. So Matic, I'm really bullish on. I picked up a decent amount several months ago, like around $1. Honestly, I wish I would have picked up more. That's easy to say now. That's pretty much doubled. That would have been nice. Axie Infinity, the best or the highest play to earn game, and I really like play to earn. I would like to get into some lower cap play to earns though. VeChain, I think, is one of the most blue chip cryptocurrencies. I bought some more a couple weeks ago, and I probably will continue to buy more if it stays around this level or falls down a little bit. I really like them. I think that a lot of companies work with them, and they'll continue to do well as they get more and more partnerships. Again, just not as speculative as a lot of the other cryptocurrencies, because they have like a legitimate business behind it. Then we can kind of go down the line. We have some lower cap cryptos here. Crypto.com actually went up a good amount recently in the 7 days. It went up 14%. I heard some people talk about it recently. But Decentraland. So Decentraland is up 90% in a day. It's part of the top 50 cryptocurrencies now. When I talked about it a few days ago, it was 92 cents when I bought it. So it's gone up an extreme amount, and I've been dollar cost averaging into it. Again, that's where I say if you guys want to be part of the Patreon, definitely check it out underneath the video. I think it pays for itself pretty quickly, especially when we're in this bull market. And Decentraland is interesting because it's a virtual world, especially with Meta, Facebook changing their name to Meta. They're going to get into more of these virtual worlds, and it will bring more attention to cryptos like Decentraland. Now, this one's up a lot, right? 242% over the last 30 days and 200% in the last 7 days. So if you're trying to get into this, I think it would make sense to dollar cost average over time. Check out that video too. I'll put it on the end screen about Decentraland. I just made it the other day, and you can get a lot more information on Decentraland. I'm also talking with IOTA about working together, but that's one that I haven't looked into much yet, but might be doing something with them here soon. We can go down the line. Some of these other ones are interesting to me, like Engine Coin. One that I will be talking about here soon and breaking down a lot more in depth is actually VGX. So I'm not even sure this is in the top 100 right now. And we're getting into some of the lower cap coins here in a second. VGX 111th. I think this is one of the best utility tokens out there. And I think it's one that if you have the Voyager app, which is growing really quickly, like the number of users is growing really quickly, if you have it, you really should have VGX token. And I'll break that down here in a video soon. But I think it makes so much sense to own. And then also let's look at what else we have. So I have a couple of lower caps. I would like to get some Moonriver and Moonbeam possibly with the parachain auctions here coming for Polkadot. But I have some lower cap altcoins here too that I want to talk about. Donkey is one that I have. I heard several different like really large crypto YouTubers talking about it. I looked into it. It's a yield farming play. I picked up some of it. It's been down since I bought it actually, but I'm gonna hold that through the bull market. Also, Webull is one that I actually work with. I work with the company, full disclosure, and I do have some of my tokens from working with them. But I think right now they are small market cap. If they deliver on what they're trying to do, which is create an NFT platform, I think it will spike up, especially if they do that during the bull market, because it's like a 20 or $30 million market cap. It might even be lower than that now. But the team is really solid there. That's why I started working with them. I also know another person that's working with them. So I really like them. Let's see what their market cap is here. 26 million. So of course their fully diluted will be higher, but that's gonna take a long time. So their market cap's 27 million. I think it's gonna go up in the future, but always do your own research on all of these. So that one's a riskier play, but again, like in my opinion, it's going to be a 10x or it's going to go down in the next like 10 years or in the next year, sorry. So in the next year, it's either going to 10x or probably go down from here. And then Dexio Protocol, I do own some of that. That's a company that I worked with recently, and I have some of that. But those are lower positions. Each of these three like low caps are smaller positions compared to my other positions. Let's see if there are any other ones I didn't talk about. So we talked about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, ADA, DOT, Avalanche. I feel like it's a great one to pick up too. Great ecosystem. Algorand, I have some of that. And that pretty much caps my list. Again, like if you're looking to get into this, let's say you have a couple $1,000s. A lot of people ask, you know, what should I do with a couple $1,000s? Dollar cost averaging probably is the best way to go. Of course, you're getting in kind of late, right? You're getting in like that 2/3 of the way through the game, because we did see prices for Bitcoin and Ethereum half this like 2 months ago, and then for some of these other cryptos like Solana, Shiba Inu, some of these Avalanche, Polygon, we saw them like 1/3, 1/4 the price a couple months ago. So you could have obviously gotten a lot better prices, but if you're trying to get in at one specific time, this is a good time to be in. If you're trying to figure out what you want to do, let's say you have $2,000, $3,000, probably dollar cost averaging into some of the bigger cap altcoins is probably the way to go. Like Bitcoin, that's not an altcoin, but Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, maybe a little bit of Cardano, Polkadot. I think that's the way to go. And then over time, you'll get more comfortable with these smaller cryptos. Now, I think we're going to have a crazy bull run here soon. I would not be surprised if it's similar to what we had last month, which is right towards the beginning. Sorry, this is where my throat gets a little bit scratchy. Right towards the beginning of the month, we see a massive jump. Just like last month, we got through the end of the month and we saw Bitcoin jump up like $5,000 or $10,000 within days. I would not be surprised if that's what happens this month too. Now, of course, I could always be wrong. Do your own research, but I think this is a great time to be in crypto. Let me know your thoughts on these down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the link to BlockFi and to the Patreon underneath the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.